Hey guys, welcome back. Let's just go ahead and jump into this tutorial here. So today I'm going to be using the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And first, I already primed my lid, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that with this cream shade in the palette called Tempera. So I'm just packing that all over the lids. And next, going in with this shade here called Raw Sienna. And I'm using this as my transition shade. I'm going in with the R37 brush from Morphe. It's just a big fluffy brush. Just going back and forth, and then once there's less product on my brush, blending in circular motions upward. And I am going to make this look more smoky on the outer corner, just like really blown out on the outer corner. So while I'm building this color up, I am definitely blending it more outward. Next, going in with this shade here, the shade Real Gar, and I'm going in with this more of a dome-shaped fluffy brush, and this is the, let's see, it's the M518 from Morphe, and this is where I am focusing most of this on the outer corner in the crease. I'm placing it in the crease and then buffing it in circular motions outward. And then once there's barely any product in the brush at all, I will blend it towards the inner corner in the crease, just so everything is blended nicely, but I do want most of the color focused on that outer corner. So I'm just building up that color until I get the intensity that I'm looking for. So next, going in with the shade Red Ochre, this deep burgundy shade, and with that same dome-shaped brush, I'm basically going to be doing the same thing. I'm just packing in a decent amount right into that outer crease portion of the eye and then blending it in circular motions outward. And I am also going to be using this shade to pack onto the outer corner as well on the lid. And once again, this is just a very long blending process, just until I'm getting that intensity that I'm looking for, because I do want it to be really smoky. Next, going with this deep brown shade, the shade Cypress Umber, and I'm using a very narrow tapered brush. This is the M573 from Morphe, and I'm just poking this out into the outer V, and that is it. I'm kind of placing it lightly and then maybe patting it a little bit just so it will be just to get a little bit darker, to show up a little bit better. And then going back in with that Red Ochre shade and just kind of packing it back over it just to add a little bit more of that depth on the outer corner. And then just kind of blending everything out a little bit better, just making sure everything looks nice and blended. Going in with this gold shade from the palette, this is shade Primavera. And first, of course, I'm using my hydrocortisone to wet the lid so that the shade comes out a little more of a pop instead of just how it would be if you just swiped it. And I'm using a flat shaded brush from Tweezerman to do that. And so I'm just packing that onto the inner corner and then, wiggling in between just to make sure it's all blended. Going back into that Red Ochre shade once again just to pack onto the outer corner even more, since we lost a little bit of that. And now going back in with that deep brown shade and packing it into the inner corner, just that outer V once more, just to make it even more intense. Now I'm going in with that first big fluffy brush, the R37, with no additional product on it, just to blend lightly, just to make sure everything's looking nice, no harsh lines or anything like that. So now for liner, I did want to do something a little bit different. So what I did is I went with that dark brown shade in the palette with a small little angled brush to create this little V shape. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my liner from Eyeko and I'm going to trace over it. I just use the shadow just to kind of help me out. So I'm tracing over that V shape, and then I'm just going to connect it like a regular wing when I'm done. And of course, I am terrible at getting my wing on camera, so I got as much as I could on camera, but that's how it goes. So I leave the V blank, and then I went in and used a gold glitter liner from Urban Decay to fill it in, which of course my camera died while I was doing that, so it's not actually on camera, but there it is right there. So now prepping my lashes for falsies, I curled them and put some mascara on, the L'Oreal Original Voluminous, and for lashes, I'm going in with the House of Lashes Tinkerbell Lashes. Now for primer, I'm going in with the Mercier Radiance Foundation Primer and just placing that all over the skin just to help me get more of a nice luminous glow. And then next I'm going in with these Sephora Radiant Luminizing Drops. This is in the shade Morning Light. Just placing this basically everywhere. And then I'm blending my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in with those drops. And I'm using the Morphe M439 Buffer Brush. Now for concealer, I'm going in with my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer to highlight underneath the eyes and then to balance out the rest of the face with my chin, Cupid's bow, nose, and forehead. And I wanted my under eyes to be extra bright, so I added in my Tarte Shape Tape, which is a little bit lighter of a color, and I only use this on the inner corner just to brighten it up and then just balance it out just a little bit with these little dots on my forehead and chin. And then I'm going in with my Morphe, I believe this is the E8 brush, to blend all of that out. Next, going in with my Mercier powder to just set everywhere that I put that concealer to make sure nothing moves throughout the day. And next for bronzer, I'm going in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer with my Luxie 514 brush, I believe it is, and just bronzing up the skin with this on my cheekbones, and then I will also be doing the temples of my forehead and my hairline. And then next I'm going to contour with my Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion and with my tweezer contour brush, just a little angled dual fiber brush here. And then a little bit on the hairline as well. And then I'm going to go back in with that Luxie brush just to make sure everything looks nice and blended. And now I'm going to be doing the under eyes, going in with that orange shade. I'm using a pencil brush. This is the Morphe E18. I'm blending that all over the lower lash line there, and I do with this want the lower lash line to be really smoky, so I am going to be, you know, just bringing it down pretty far. Next, going in with that deep burgundy shade with an even smaller pencil brush. This is going to be the E36 from Morphe, and this is going to be really, not really close to the lash line, but closer than that orange shade. And then with that raw sienna shade, going in with a really large pencil brush. This is the E17 from Morphe, and this is just going to be making sure that everything is blended real nice. And then with a super teeny tiny little pencil brush here, I'm going in with a deep chocolate shade just to add a little bit more definition. And then since there's no black in the palette, I went in with this black shade from Makeup Geek. It's the shade Corrupt. I'm just putting this into my lower lash line as opposed to a black liner. And I just went and blended that just a little bit to add a little bit more definition. And then using the same mascara to coat the lower lashes as well. Next for highlight, I'm going in with my Becca Cosmetics Jaclyn Hill highlight in Champagne Pop and using my Morphe M510 highlighting brush to do this. And I'm basically going to be putting this everywhere, just basically bathing it in my cheekbones, nose, bridge of my nose, chin, Cupid's bow, you know, and then up on the side here on my temples. And then I'm also going to be highlighting, using it lightly though, on my brow bone and the inner corner. And then for lips, I'm going in with this shade from ColourPop and I Love Sada E, and this is the shade Mamacita. It's just this deep, vampy, oh, this color is so pretty, and I just thought it just amped up this look so much, and I absolutely loved it. Alright, and this is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun filming this today. I like doing something a little bit different. So if you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe before you go. Any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!